Hi, this is Jonas Dupuis. Welcome to another episode of the Bonsai Wire podcast. This week we have a great show with Adam Toth, who's currently apprenticing in Japan at Taiga Urushibata's garden. Adam and I have spent many hours working in the garden together over the years, and he was the first one to regularly start helping out in my garden. It was fun to catch up with Adam and hear what he is working on in Japan. Join us now for the conversation.
I'm working with these amazing trees all day long, and I forget how amazing they really are because I'm around them all day and I'm working on them all day. Just yesterday, I was like pulling needles off this pine. It's this huge, like 2.5 foot tree, and the bark is, each plate is like that thick, and it's going down all the branches, and I'm just like throwing needles off of it and not even paying close attention, like working faster than hard, like more precise. And it's just something that if it was in America, it would be like a famous tree, because of how amazing it is. But over here, it's like a dime a dozen. It's really a strange, it's just strange.
Well, that's going to kick off the episode. I've been recording this whole time, and that's a beautiful note to start on.
Oh, man.
But how nice is it to work on stuff like that? I mean, that sounds awesome.
It is nice. It is nice. Yeah, it is nice. Now I'm nervous, man. Now I'm nervous.
Oh, good. I'll put you on the spot. Well, I'll say for everyone else's sake, I'm Jonas Dupuis. This is the Bonsai Wire podcast, and today I'm talking with Adam. Adam, say hi to everybody.
How's it going? I'm Adam. I am 33 years old, and I'm from Northern California, and I am doing a apprenticeship in Japan with Taiga Urushibata at Taisho-en.
How in the world did you end up there?
Oh man, that is a long story, but to make it quick,
I'll make it long. We got time.
So yeah, I was spending a lot of time at your place and kind of already had this feeling that I wanted to do an apprenticeship in Japan. You really helped convince me to go for it and to push for it. And so I went to Japan really not knowing where I wanted to go or what it was actually going to be like. And I spent, 2 weeks just kind of traveling around to different nurseries and talking to different people and handing letters of intent to study somewhere. Yeah, so I traveled around and really not knowing where I wanted to go. Every day I kind of just ended up somewhere and booked a hotel for wherever I was. Yeah, I visited a lot of different nurseries and met a lot of different people, and I still didn't really know exactly what I was looking for. And that was the World Bonsai Convention. Yeah, I got to really see a lot of different professionals in different nurseries. And Taisho-en was on the list. And when I got there, I spoke with the other deshi that was there. And Taiga-san. And I don't know, it was just a different feeling when I was there. It just felt like a place that kind of fit my personality and what I wanted in an apprenticeship and what I want for when I get home. There was a lot of different like styles of trees, a lot of different material in all different ranges, some complete, some still being grown. And I really liked the difference, the variety of what was there. It was a feeling, it just felt different, and it felt I don't know, like me. It wasn't like a museum, but it also wasn't like messy and dirty. So it was something that I really wanted to strive for organizationally, and, just the quality of trees, and small trees, shohin, and big trees. Just, yeah, like I said, just a wide variety of everything. So yeah, it just felt right. And after speaking with Taiga-san the first time, I kind of dropped my interest in everywhere else and just focused on going to Taisho-en. So when I was there the first time, there was no like real set in stone thing. It was just us kind of talking about my intent to be an apprentice there. And he told me to, let him, keep him informed, let him know what's going on. And so, yeah, a year later went by, and I went back to Japan to talk to him again and to check out Kokufu. Yeah, I really wanted to go to Kokufu, so I kind of used it as killing two birds with one stone kind of thing. And he said he's willing to give me a 3-month opportunity at that time. And so he said, whenever I'm ready, come back, let him know. And yeah, we can do that 3-month trial period. And that was, man, I don't even remember the timeline anymore.
Was that an exciting or terrifying bit of news when he said, "Yeah, come to Japan"?
Uh, hmm. I don't remember. I don't remember what I was feeling in that moment. It's kind of a lot like traveling like that, and it's hard to remember kind of specific little things. And I think the trial period itself kind of overshadows my feelings of what I thought it was going to be before.
Tell us about the gap of what your expectation was and what actually happened when you woke up one morning and showed up at the garden for day one.
Yeah, so I there was a lot that I had to do before I could go and do the 3-month trial period. It was it's really expensive to travel, and I had all my stuff, and there was a lot of like loose ends to take care of. I was still working at my previous job, so I wanted to save up some money because I knew the whole experience was going to be very expensive. And my parents, they don't pay for anything anymore. I'm 33, so I'm pretty much an adult, and so everything that I do at this point is kind of up to me and the support of my fiance Irena, who has been amazing in supporting me financially during this whole thing. But yeah, there was just a lot to do to prepare, leaving everything behind and coming over here for 3 months. Even though it was just 3 months, there was a lot to do. So I think it took me a year, almost a year, 10 months to kind of prepare everything and get everything kind of situated so that I could do the 3-month trial period. I feel like I'm all over the place, man.
No, you're dead on it because that's kind of how I remember. It's funny because I remember you going through all of these various steps, and yeah, you did have a lot of things to deal with, and that took a long time.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot to do. There was a lot to take care of.
It's hard to say one day, oh, and now life won't be here anymore. Life is going to be somewhere else doing something else. It's totally out of my control and it's very far away.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to go about this in the best way possible. So I didn't just kind of drop everything and throw everything in the garbage and head over. I definitely wanted to be a little smarter about it and make sure everything was taken care of. And yeah.
Now, when it came to that trial run, I don't know if you remember any of that now, but do you remember feeling any different in character from kind of what your life was like when you started full time after that? Meaning, was that first 3 months roughly what life was like when you got here for this trip?
So okay, so it was definitely different. Like I felt like it was it was more than a trial to see if it was something that I liked and if I fit in with the family. It was really like, do I have what it takes to survive in that kind of environment? And so I feel like they try to make it as hard as possible for those first 3 months to see if I could endure what it's going to be like. And so I feel like the first 3 months were definitely harder than, in some ways, than what it's like now being here full time.
Now, you say hard. A lot of people who've never been to Japan or been through apprenticeships are thinking, oh, it
Yeah.
sounds so hard to do bonsai all day long.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
no, that sounds terrible.
And I'm speaking from a place where it's like you kind of know what it's like.
So give us some examples for some
Man,
people who don't. Like,
it's really
what is
complicated.
I totally agree. Like, do any stories come to mind of particularly hard days, or is the hardness more emotional or physical or mental or all of the above?
It's absolutely everything. Everything that is difficult is difficult. It was a lot of work. It's hard to be away from, my friends and family. It's hard to be in a place where the culture is so different. I didn't have, man, I don't know. I have to think about that for a second. How do I explain that in words? How is
Well,
something difficult?
and I did just spring this on you, but that was one of the things I had been thinking about ahead of time. The other one was a lot of people think they may not just know one way or the other what the teaching process looks like in Japan. And I have heard some people talk about, oh, it'd be so nice to have a Japanese teacher. And I just smile whenever I hear that because I think, teaching an apprentice? What's that? I'm
Yeah,
I'm
so
I'm curious if you thought about how you might characterize the learning process as an apprentice, or if there is such a thing.
yeah, I feel like that's a whole podcast episode in itself.
And we could do that
Um,
separately if you want, but I agree. I find the topic fascinating.
so it's definitely a lot different than the Western's like idea of teaching and learning and working. It's everything is kind of up to my own volition. So what do I take away from it? What do I learn? There's no one like sitting next to me and say, oh, this is how you wire a branch, or oh, this is what you do at this time of the year. There's no traditional teaching going. It's all, this is what we're doing, do it this way. Or man, well, let me just say, I'm glad that this can be edited, and I feel like this needs to be like I need some time to think about these questions.
Yeah, they're totally fair. And if you need time to think about it, we can just move on to something else, because these are like I reflect on these kind of things all the time, just because I think, like yesterday, I was thinking to myself, what would be some really fun things to talk about? And I know what I'm curious about and interested in. And I was thinking, well, not what kind of an answer would I expect to hear, but just what a conversation might sound like trying to figure that out. Because we're not always conscious of the lessons we're learning as we're learning them, or the result of things as we're doing it. Because a lot of an apprenticeship is survival in a lot of ways. And it's like, how do we get through
Yeah,
today? How's tomorrow going to go?
yeah, I think there's a lot of that, but I think my age has brought me some wisdom and some perspective on what you just said, because I'm able to, like, if I am getting yelled at for something, I'm able to take away, the lesson in that. I'm able to learn something from it, and it's not just, oh, I did something wrong and I'm getting in trouble. Or I feel like my answers are a dud here, Jonas. I need
Well,
I need
it's
I need
funny.
I need some time. I need some time to think about these questions. I think I'm nervous. I'm nervous to do this. I don't know why I'm nervous. Like, I'm not normally nervous.
Well, it's just thousands of strangers listening. That's all.
Exactly.
And
I think. I
Yeah.
think I ruined this, Jonas. I think I did. I think I'm too in my head. I'm like not in the zone, man. I'm like it's not coming to me. My brain is frozen.
Oh, this is
I
going to be great for everyone listening. Yeah, this is not the Adam I knew before going to Japan. You can tell this is what apprenticeship. This is your brain on apprenticeship.
It really is. I'm just like not sleeping enough. Today was the first time. Today's my day off, and it's really the first time that I've gotten more than 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And it's really hard to, work a whole month straight on 5 hours a day of sleep. It really affects me, man. Like really, it's pretty hard. It's pretty difficult to go through every day exhausted. And yeah, it's just difficult. And today, I finally got to sleep in a little bit, like I said earlier. But because I slept so much, like I feel bad, when you oversleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The kind of the flip side to what you're saying about the learning or how you've kind of internalized when you get yelled at is you're thinking, oh, there actually is something I could have done differently. What might that have been? The flip side of all of that would be when you checked in a few days ago, and actually you shared this online. Oh, I'm starting to feel a little better about some wiring. And it's just so exciting to see that every once in a while you're able to step back enough and say, oh, my wiring didn't look like this 6 months ago. Something's clearly changing. And
yeah,
that's kind of
yeah,
cool.
it is really neat to see that in myself, to see how much better I'm getting and how quick I'm improving in my skills. I think that's a good way of putting it.
So you just mentioned that you got one day off with no notice after about a month of 5 hours sleep every night. Walk us
Yeah.
through a typical day. Like, what does your day look like?
Yeah, so I am the newest person, so the youngest Deshi in terms of time put in there. So I'm the bottom of the list. So all the crummy jobs are kind of on me. So every day I wake up at about 6:45 in the morning, and that gives me about 40 minutes to wake up, eat something, kind of gather myself. And I am the first one at the nursery. I open it up, open the front door, start to clean, doing the dishes from the night before, starting the hot water for the tea, uh, cleaning. I have to clean the bathrooms every morning. About that time, it's about 8 o'clock, 8:05, and I take the dog for a walk, the nursery dog, Shido. So that's about 15 minutes every day. Then I get back and I feed the animals, I feed the dog, and there's a meerkat we have there too. So I take care of the meerkat in the morning. And at that time, it's about 8:30-ish. And after all the animals are kind of done and the cleaning is finished, I start weeding, and I'll do that. It really depends. Most of the time it's for 30 minutes to an hour, just kind of picking up and weeding and random little things that come up in the nursery. And about half the time, if I have specific work that my oyakata gave me, that's when I start to do it, whatever the day's work is on the tree or trees that I have to do. So that's wiring or taking wire off, or it all depends on what time of the year and what tree it is. So yeah, I'll start working on that around 9:30 ish, and all the way until lunch I'm kind of working on my work while also paying attention to everyone else. And if they need something, I am the one to help or to do it for them. So making sure that everyone has wire, or if somebody needs a tree carried, basically taking care of everybody else along with my own work. So it's not just, oh, I get to sit there and just wire a tree for 8 hours. I'm really focused on making sure that everyone has what they need, and along with all the other random things that come up during the day, cleaning or doing this or, signing for packages or whatever comes up. So that's until about lunchtime. Yeah, so lunch comes and I set up for lunch. I set everyone's lunch. I get the tea ready, clean the table, set everything up. Then we have lunch, and we usually eat lunch within 5 minutes. So it's kind of like eat as fast as you can. I still have a hard time eating quick.
It's hard. They're fast.
They are really, really fast. Like I try to eat as quick as I can, but without not chewing my food, I just don't see how it's possible to eat that fast. But so I try to eat as quick as I can because I have to serve the tea and clean up everyone's lunch after they're done. So I'm serving and cleaning all while trying to eat my food. So yeah, about 10 minutes goes by and we're pretty much done with lunch. So I pick up, clean, and about at that time it's, a little after lunch. And that's time that I get to relax for a second, read a magazine, work on a tree if I want. Yeah, it's kind of like a open time where I can do pretty much anything that I want. So that's kind of nice to not have to worry and feel stressed. So that's about one. So we finish one. Before 1 o'clock, everyone is kind of continuing on with their day. So whether that be work or cleaning. Yeah, so as I was saying, half the time I get to work on my work, but a lot of the time I'm doing random chores, cleaning, picking up, organizing, going through pretty much everything. As the apprentice, me and the other apprentice, we basically run and make sure everything is running in the garden. It's kind of up to us to pick up after everybody, to make sure it's clean, to move trees and to get things ready and prepped and helping customers, and anything short of actually, you know, working with the customers, it's kind of on us to do, to run the entire place. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So yeah, that continues all day, every day until about 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I take the dog for a walk again, the night walk. And yeah, that's, I actually really like taking the dog for a walk because it's a chance for me to relax my mind and to not have to run around and be on my best behavior and to worry that everyone is kind of like relying on the work that goes on. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a nice time to not have to think about that, but also think about just the whole experience. It's a nice time to kind of relieve the mind. Yeah,
So
so I
it's,
take the dog for a walk. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, and so then after the night walk,
Yeah, so I come back, take care of the animals again, feed them, and that's about almost 6 o'clock. Everything is kind of, the dogs, the animals are been fed, and I kind of close up everything that needs to be closed up, the work buildings and the greenhouse, and make sure everything's kind of closed. And about 6 o'clock, I can start working on my own work again. And about 6 o'clock is when Oyakata goes home. And yeah, we get to, we'll just work for another about 30 minutes or so. And usually about 6:30, we go home for dinner, and we get about an hour and a half to 2 hours to eat dinner, run errands. That time I usually spend grocery shopping, cooking, eating. And then around 8:30, it's time for work again. So yeah, we'll usually go back to work when everything is closed up. So it's the study period of the day where I can actually focus on progressing my skills, wiring, doing bonsai work, or learning Japanese. So recently I've been really trying to get my Japanese to a place where I can hold a conversation or know what's going on, you know? So I've been spending a lot of time studying Japanese. But yeah, usually 8:30 is when the studying happens. And that can go anywhere for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, usually about 11 p.m. I kind of call it quits. We call it quits. But if it's busy season or there's a show or whatever else is coming up, it can be longer or shorter, but 10:30, 11 is usually average. And then, yeah, I kind of finish my day up, take a shower, get things ready for the next day. And about that time, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it's hard to settle down after working when the mind is just racing all day. I don't know, it's hard for me to relax after all of that.
Well, you got to
It's
be
really
on the whole time and looking out for other people. Like if there's another person on the property, you kind of have to be looking out for them, whoever it is, family, coworkers, customers.
exactly whoever it is, everyone it is. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and it's hard for me to, like, my body is just absolutely exhausted, but my mind just does not rest. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's
That
hard. It's
sounds
hard to
hard.
explain.
Is
Yeah.
Taiga out there working with you all after dinner?
Usually no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just the apprentices, which is nice because it's a chance for us to kind of talk and to really like work through our work, and for my senpai to kind of look at my work and help me progress as an individual, all while connecting personally as well. So usually night work is a little more relaxed, usually.
You'd mentioned that's when you can really focus on a tree you're working on or work on your skills. How is that for you? Is that come natural for you? Is it really hard for you to kind of say, oh, I've got 2 hours right now. I've got a bunch of wire over here and a tree in front of me. I guess I'm going to teach myself how to wire better.
No, it's not. That does not come naturally. It is not easy.
It doesn't sound easy.
It's hard to work hard all day, go home, eat dinner, and then have the drive to go back to work more. It's not, yeah, it's not easy. It's fun to work on cool trees and to wire them, but it doesn't feel like that in the moment. It feels like work. So it's
Interesting.
it's a different thought process.
You had also mentioned that you've been thinking a little more about design recently as opposed to just the technical aspects of what you're doing. And I thought, I just can't imagine trying to be creative and design savvy on top of everything else when you're exhausted and trying to decide where to set a branch or move an apex or something.
Yeah, so my oyakata is really good at progressing me forward. So he doesn't teach me in a traditional sense where, yeah, if do this or do that, but the work that he does give me kind of sets me up for that thought process.
Huh.
And I think in in learning bonsai, you really have to build on the foundation, right? Like You need to be able to learn how to wire a branch correctly before knowing where to move it. You need to learn how to move it to put it in a place. Then you need to take that place to make a whole branch, and you need a branch to make a whole tree. And so it kind of all builds on itself, from my experience at least. And now that I'm getting a lot better at my wiring and moving branches and starting to get better at building clouds, I can start to work with those clouds together as a whole, like composition on a tree, and learning how to create, how to put this in words, how to create like an image in an artistic kind of way. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's an abstract concept, and it's so funny, for as seriously as we pursue bonsai, when all of the technique in the world is in your hands, you're deciding, should I put the branch here or should I put it there? Like, that's the art.
Yeah,
It's kind of like saying a painter deciding am I going to dip the brush in red or blue? Am I going to strike the canvas here or there? And we're pretty much deciding, well, if I cut it here, we're expecting growth to result at point A or B. If I wire a branch and position it, it's going to be in one of these things. And yet it's incredibly complex. It's three-dimensional. We have to preserve the health of the tree. And so there's a lot going on with these seemingly straightforward actions,
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. There's a lot of details that go into the overall artfulness of it,
And so just
See,
last week.
Now I'm having that.
Oh, you're in your head. We'll change topics now. So just last week, Adam sent me a photo of a tree that he'd been wiring. And the instantaneous thought that struck me is, that is not an easy tree to style. Now, it looked like the wiring of it could have been more straightforward because it wasn't the most dense tree in the world. Was that a white pine?
Which one?
The one that was, you had just wired it. It was not bunjin, but kind of no branches on the bottom half and more sparse up above.
Yeah. Bunjin, yes.
Yeah, and so it looked like the challenge was, how do you take not that many branches, and up on the apex, it's like there was a little cap right centered on top and just one branch to the back below that. Otherwise, there was nothing else in that whole apical area. And I just thought, that doesn't seem like a straightforward design puzzle right there.
Yeah, I think bunjin in particular kind of really encapsulates the whole artistic form of bonsai. I actually really like bunjin for that reason, because it can be it's not so straightforward. There's a lot of little things that can go to give the tree a whole different feeling with little changes, so that's when that tree is what, kind of like what I was telling you, starting to learn about how the little changes can kind of incorporate into a whole design.
Okay, I think we're going to take a quick break here and hear from one of our sponsors. Be right back. We here at the Bonsai Wire podcast were chatting a few weeks ago about a need within our community that we think we can help with. Do you live in a hot, dry climate but dream of growing Japanese maples? Did you have to move to northern Canada for a job but have always loved growing tropical trees? Finally, our exclusive leaf punches, patent pending, are a way to solve your problems without compromise. We've been working tirelessly with the manufacturer in Japan to develop a line of custom-made punches especially for cutting leaves on bonsai. All you need to do is to buy a tree that is hardy in your local climate and then use one of our custom leaf punches to cut each leaf into the shape of the tree you would like to grow. In less than an afternoon, you can turn a common field elm into a beautiful Japanese maple. You can't grow ficus in Michigan? No problem. Our ficus punch can turn that ratty old toothed leaf Zelkova into the smooth leaf of your dreams. We are currently offering leaf punches in 3 styles of maples, a ficus, and a Zelkova in case you didn't like how the ficus turned out. We've been struggling to develop needle punches to convert deciduous trees into conifers. For the time being, we can provide you with gypsy moths to strip each leaf back to the veins, giving the impression of needles. Be the envy of your club and reach out to us on our website to get more information or to place your order while supplies last. Okay, let's jump back into the conversation with Jonas and Adam.
Are there any specific trees or specific species you've really fallen for since you've been in Japan?
So a lot of the work we're doing at Taisho-en is a lot of conifers, junipers, white pines, black pines. I don't think there's anything that I am kind of feeling more towards or more special towards anything in particular. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that's like, I like this tree more than anything else. You know, I like black pines more than red pines or white pines. I don't think there's anything like that. I don't think that way at
Wow.
least.
And
Yeah.
what about sizes or styles? Same kind of thing, whether a shohin or a big tree, you're like, oh, these all feel good in my hands.
Whew, big trees are a lot of work. I think big trees are a lot of work, but they're easier to work on. They're easier to work with. Small trees are a lot harder.
As in technically harder to manage?
Yeah, I mean, like one little thing can make such a big difference on a small tree. It's, it's kind of like everything has to be right for a small tree to look right. So there's a lot more to it for it to look like a good piece.
Uh-huh.
I think big trees you can kind of get away with a little more. Actually, I think you were just talking about that on one of your last episodes.
Oh, it could be.
Someone was talking about it.
Yeah, I've been over the years in some really fun discussions or funny discussions about people comparing working big versus working small, and I think you're right. Your teacher Taiga is one of a small number of people in Japan who's very well known for working at a very high level with large material and small material.
Yeah, it's really incredible to see him work. Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about. I am becoming a lot more interested in mame bonsai.
Ah, are there any
Yeah.
mame around the garden?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like a whole little section of it,
Oh,
and
cool.
I don't think there's a lot in America. So that's something that I've kind of like personally been excited about. Really small trees. I don't think I'll focus a lot on it, but I think there's a lot of interest in there for me. So.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's kind of cool. We definitely could use some more mame expertise, let alone shohin or anything else. But that'd be awesome to show us what does it even mean to do such small sized trees do meaningful work on such small scale trees.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be cool.
All right, sorry about that.
Not at all. This is perfect.
Man, I didn't think I was gonna be this nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. I'm I'm not usually like this.
No, you're not. It's it's pretty
Maybe
incredible.
the Japanese culture really is creeping into my.
Oh, it definitely is. I remember when you were home from your 3-month trial and you were getting pretty darn close to going back. We were all out at lunch. And remember, we went to one Vietnamese place. It was closed. So we went to the other Vietnamese place in town. And as soon as we sat down, Adam grabbed chopsticks for everybody, napkins for everybody, made sure we all had bowls. It's like literally there was just zero relaxation. We sat down, he went into battle mode, and within seconds, we all had water, all of our places, everything was there. Even the people in the restaurants are like, oh, we should hire this guy. And I just thought, yeah, this guy's been in Japan.
Yeah.
Those are the little signs that once you recognize it, you're like, yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
And here I'm thinking, come on, join with us. We'll treat you to lunch. It'll be fun. Come on. And you're like, okay, what do we do?
I still have trouble with that. I still have, sometimes it's hard to kind of make sure that I'm taking care of everybody and doing what I need to do, because it's a lot of work and it's really different. So sometimes I still could be doing better, you know?
The stories that I definitely sympathize with are when every senior apprentice and the boss's relatives all ask you to do things simultaneously. And it's just, they all know it's physically impossible to do it all, but they're just giving them themselves an excuse to yell at you for speeding up or doing something better or whatnot.
Man, I have so many stories. I have so many stories of that happening.
Share one. Like, is that, yeah, what comes to
Well,
mind like when you say that?
I have a good story of kind of what it's like. So during repotting time, it's a very busy time. Like there's a lot of work to do. And I was working with my senpai and sensei, which is my oyakata's dad. We call him sensei. So yeah, it was the three of us working. We were working on a really big tree. I think it was a deciduous tree, and we're all chopsticking the soil in, right? Like moving as quick as we can. And my senpai tells me to do the chopsticking in one way, which is like you press it, you press it in, you start from the bottom, and then you kind of like work your way out. And so I do that, he tells me to do it a specific way. I do it that way. Then Sensei turns around to me and he says, don't do it that way. Do it this way. And he like does this circling motion, when you kind of like circle it around. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll do it that way. And then right after he's done telling me to do it that way, I'm doing it that way. My senpai says, I told you not to do it that way. I just told you to do it this way. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it that way. So I go back to the way that he told me to do it. And now everyone is like starting to get frustrated at me. And so now their voices are raising. They're starting to get upset. So my sensei, again, I just told you to do it this way. And he gets mad at me. And so I start to do it that way. Before he's done like telling me to do it that way, my senpai is literally starting to yell at me to do it the other way. So they're both like yelling at me to do it opposite ways. Oh, and I'm just like, which way do you want me to do it? I'll do it this way or I'll do it this way. But you're both telling me to do it opposite ways. And then my senpai hits me and he's like getting frustrated because I'm asking a question back. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what do? I don't know what to do. You tell me to do it this way. I do it that way, and then somebody else tells me to do it a different way. And everyone, not easy to be in those situations. I don't know what to do. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it whichever way you want me to do it. I don't know.
How does Taiga do it?
It depends on the situation.
Oh, really? Say more.
Yeah. So, yeah, it really depends on the situation.
So it sounds like all of those are acceptable techniques depending on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's multiple ways to skin a cat, and I think that holds really true for bonsai. There's a lot of ways to do a lot of different things. I don't think there's only one way. I don't think that's the case. I think there's better ways to do certain things in certain situations. So, yeah. What's
classic is I don't think that would have been as fun for them, even if they'd planned it ahead of time. Okay, now you're going to tell them this, and I'll tell them that.
Exactly.
And you're
That's what it felt like. Like, it's hard to believe. Like, I almost couldn't believe they were like serious at first. Like, it's that kind of irony. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That is a pretty great example. And it's not like repotting isn't stressful to start with. It's not like it's not super physically grueling to start with.
Jeez. Yeah. Not a fun time. Not a fun time to be at work. So much work, so quick. A lot of heavy moving, a lot of dirty work.
Sitting in awkward positions, holding things at awkward angles, bending over things, sifting soil, la, la, la.
You're a great mediator. You know all these things. I'm like talking to you with the assumption that you know exactly what's going on. It's hard for me to kind of explain that in words.
It's funny. I have always appreciated these kind of stories. And so I just love talking to people and learning about this kind of stuff. And while I've never been through anything remotely like that, I remember one of the very first workshops I ever joined. I didn't really have any trees at the time, but I would hang out at this workshop and on average, I was 40 or 50 years younger than a lot of people in the workshop. And so if a tree needed to be held at a really awkward angle, that was me. And if something was, here, sickle this tree for the next 45 minutes. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I remember doing that kind of stuff. And so whenever I hear stories that kind of spark that memory of, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It always rings a bell. Well, enough about work. What do you miss from home?
Oh, so much. So much. Food. I would say food. I I think about food all the time. I want some Nicaraguan
Mm,
nakatamales. I want some good pizza. I want my grandma's cooking. I want my mom's cooking.
uh,
I want junk food. I miss American food. I
have you
think
explored much Japanese pizza yet?
yeah, I'm not a fan, to be
It's
honest.
fascinating. It's a
I'm
very
not,
different thing.
yeah, I'm not a fan. So when I'm in the mood for pizza, Domino's is the kind of the option that's there.
And even Japanese Domino's will have some creative toppings.
Yeah, I kind of stick with the American style.
Oh,
Yeah, food is
that's
really
awesome.
different here. It's really different here. I miss food. I miss American food. I think that's what I think about the most. Of course, besides the obvious,
Yeah, whenever you get a vacation, it'll be well earned.
yeah.
That sounds awesome. Have
Oh
you?
man, thinking about vacation is even a weird thought.
Yeah, you can't even tease yourself with that. I shouldn't have brought it up. That's messed
Yeah.
up.
A day off, one day off a month is a vacation.
Yeah, people keep hearing that, I know, and it doesn't totally jibe. And it's like, no, that's about right. And then in busy seasons like repotting season, you're lucky to get a day off every couple months.
Yeah, yeah. My World Cup is pretty good about giving us a day off a month though, so
Oh, that's
that's
great.
nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But
Have
usually that time it's like Kokofu is around the same time,
right.
big shows are around the same time. So it's almost like a guilty day off.
Yeah, and show
Um,
season's tough because knowing that Taiga is a really big presence in the Shohin community, you've got, Taikon 10 in fall, you've got Gafu 10 in January, you've got Kokufu in February. Do you guys do some smaller local shows in the middle there, or does he mostly do the big ones?
yeah, usually it's just the big ones.
Oh,
I
okay.
think there's a couple of small ones that, like I think there's one in Aichi that kind of happens every year that we kind of contribute to, but mostly it's just the big shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you had any exposure to learn anything about the Japanese bonsai community, either how hobbyists or customers are like over there, or maybe exposure to other professionals or people at other gardens? Like, do you have any insight at all?
So, just from what I see from my day to day, like customers who show up, I'm trying to kind of pay attention to what's going on there. How are they interacting with customers, which is very different than what it's like in America. But also during showtime, show season, just kind of seeing how all the professionals work and how they compose themselves. My Japanese isn't really good enough to pick up on the subtleties of what's going on, but I can kind of get the gist of everything.
Do the regular customers kind of have a routine when they visit the garden?
Yeah, definitely. It's
What,
kind
what's
of
what's that like?
it all depends on the customer. I mean, a lot of the time the regulars really just come to like spend time at the nursery.
Hmm.
Like they're not always buying something, but um I do think there's a connection with the professional
Uh,
that is not just business. Yeah,
do
I
you
mean,
have
just
to?
like the same way how I was towards you. Like if I'm not buying something, which I don't think I ever bought something from you, but I did help you work.
Yes,
I was just there to spend time and to be around bonsai and spend time there, which is
that's cool.
yeah.
Do you have to attend to the customers at all? Do you have to get them coffee or tea or
Yeah, I mean, of
anything?
course. Of course. Tea is usually the main thing, or to help them unload and load and
Uh,
carry, but it's pretty basic. I'm not really diving into like speaking with them, or yeah, I don't communicate with them unless they specifically talk to me, which is not often.
right.
It's pretty kind of professional.
Yeah. Which is appropriate.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Have you thought at all about what kind of stuff you want to see in the US bonsai community when you come back?
Of course. I think about that a lot. I'd like to see more growers who can grow good material. I've been thinking a lot about that. Like, I'd love to come back and help growers grow better material. Like, I think that'd be really cool. Because I think there's a lot to be desired in America with grown trees.
I would be
Kind of,
really excited to see that too. That sounds fantastic to me as well.
yeah. Well, what's going on in your garden? What's new in your garden?
Oh, so this year's been a fascinating year because without as much travel, I've been doing more or less 5 years of deferred maintenance on the garden. And you'll laugh because you know a number of the trees, but for literally the first time, it's actually 6 years since I started doing bonsai full time. I've had time for everything except working on any of the trees in my garden.
Yeah, the trees
And
you really want to work on.
yeah, and I know how little work I can get away with, and push is coming to shove this year. And so, for the first time since you've known me, I have, as of today, I'm caught up on all the pine work. As of today, I'm caught up on all the deciduous work. I'm halfway done with one cryptomeria, and then I'll allow myself to work on junipers for the first time in 5-6 years, something like that. And so I'm just kind of chipping away at it, hoping that by the end of the year I'll be in a position where, oh, I can actually do the right kind of work at the right time of year, and the trees are in halfway decent shape, definitely not fully in shape, but halfway decent shape, to where I can do the normal time of year work for them.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, but it's a beautiful idea. And so I tell myself that every
That's
day.
awesome, dude. No, that's really awesome. It's always like that every year. Oh, well, this didn't get done. This didn't get done. So
That's
I'm
all
glad.
you've heard me say is nothing but excuses all these years. And so literally I'm caught up on a
That's
lot
awesome.
of trees in the garden, which is fantastic. Now,
How's the
because
big cork? The big cork oak.
I need to get up there and work on it again tomorrow. It's doing great. It started showing what looked like a bonsai silhouette for the first time ever this spring, and it's leafed out again since I worked on it. And I've learned a big lesson by doing the deferred maintenance and working on these trees more frequently. I'm learning that a lot of the routines I'd fallen into just don't apply anymore. It
Yeah.
used to be very convenient to say, oh, well, in January, February, the trees start growing, and then new shoots come out and you wire them. You take the wire off and you prune them in spring, May, June. You do it again and tune them up in fall.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's way more complicated when the trees are growing really vigorously. And so now I'm finding I actually need to touch up the oaks, and that cork oak in particular, all the time, because it wants to throw a lot of shoots right from the trunk. And I want to
Yeah.
focus the energy into the branches I'm developing. So I
Yeah.
actually need to get out there pretty much every single month during the growing season, remove the unwanted shoots to make sure the tree invests in the branches that I care about. And so this year's been a big lesson of letting go of the schedules and paying such close attention to the trees and just doing what the trees look like they need given what they've been going through, which is
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to
obvious.
slow a tree down.
Yeah. And especially, and keep them healthy. That's the
Yeah.
other thing.
Yeah.
You can slow them
I think
down if
that.
they lose their health.
Yeah. That's I think the most important thing that I'm starting to like really realize on the development process is that it's slow. You really want to just make it as slow as possible while still moving it forward. As
Yeah.
far as like creating the age and the good stuff.
And that's top tier quality you're talking about right there.
Yeah. I guess it is a different, yeah, I forget what it's like sometimes.
Well, and the slow's heartbreaking, but so true. So because I neglected some of my small pines, I haven't done the cutback. I've on a lot of these Shohin pines that I haven't been doing the cutback and wiring I've needed to for so long. I didn't allow myself time to wire any pines this spring, so I was just literally doing fall work in June and July this year. So I was
Yeah.
plucking the trees, doing the cutback, and because the branches got so long, at decandling time, I actually cut all into the old needles.
Oh, wow.
And I did that on almost every branch on almost all of my shohin. And so a week ago, I'm like, wait a minute, it's September. Shouldn't these things have buds or branches on them? Because the
Oh,
needles are like a 1/4 inch long. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I thought, oh, yeah, these aren't decandled shoots. They're not adventitious
yeah.
buds. They're all needle buds. Speaking of the slowness, I pretty much bought myself an off year for these trees. They're going to have to recover for a year before they get kind of back with it, before these new, much more compact buds really start paying off.
That's all right, though. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. We do that
But
all the time.
exactly. And people don't do that all the time here. And so it was a reminder that, oh yeah, this is what the full picture is of setting the reset button. It's not like you hit
Yeah.
reset in June and they look good in September. You hit reset and then a year and a half later they're fantastic. Well, theoretically.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about having a lot of trees too, is that you can utilize that technique a lot more because there's a lot of stuff to do with
Right.
a lot of other trees, so
Yeah, so that's really fun. And so if I keep this up, so right now I've got a friend who's been coming over and helping out clean up the deadwood on some junipers. I did start doing some cutback on them. And so that's really what my next focus is going to be. And the theory is I'm already too late. I've got a couple more weeks left and maybe about a month from now before it hits, pine season again. And so the goal is to start cleaning up all the deadwood and cutting back all the junipers and then just wire all winter.
yeah. I mean, I think that's something that I've kind of noticed here too, is that it's a lot more like depending on what the work is, it happens all year round. Even if it's something like cutback or wiring, that kind of stuff just happens all year round.
Yep.
It's only the major ones like decandling time that's really focused on the time of the year.
And you guys did your decandling in a very small window. It's just like, we're decandling this week. Okay, we're done with decandling.
Yeah, really. It's like 1 week. We just do the entire place, and then shohin, a couple weeks later. But everything just gets done within really short amount of time.
Like early July or something, was it?
Oh, I'd have to check my calendar to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I don't
Because
know.
I
Off the
forget
top
the
of
time, but
my
I
head.
remember it's like, you're like, oh yeah, we're doing decandling. And then 3 days later, like, oh yeah, what do you mean? That was like last week. We're doing something else now.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. No, that's cool. It's a good way to give you all the practice you need within a short space of time so you can really home in on those skills you're working on. And oh,
Yeah,
guess that's how we do that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
how's everything going over there? I feel like it's so weird to see like what's going on over there from an outside perspective. Like how's everything going over there?
Well, there's kind of two veins of things going on. The one is everyone really misses having bonsai events this year. This past weekend was the scheduled date for the US National Bonsai Exhibition, which has
Mhm.
been postponed until next year. So we're all trying to get refocused at, okay, where's our next event going to be? How do we start making sure, is the pot right, is the tree right? Just resetting our calendars for
Yeah.
whatever our bonsai events are. And that's the big one that's been on my mind this week. We just talked with Bill Valvanis about it last week. And and so there's that. We're all looking for the events. Now, on the other hand, it feels like enthusiasm for bonsai has been higher this year than pretty much any year since I've been in bonsai. And after 25 years, I'll admit, for 20 years, I thought we were just around the corner of everything getting really exciting and then it would never happen.
Yeah.
But the last 5 years, the excitement has just been fantastic. And it's been really heartening to see so much interest from new people, so many people just starting out and doing far more advanced techniques than I would have expected to see from people a long time ago. And so it's really exciting just to see the demand for better material to work with, the demand for working with people who have studied in Japan, and really the enthusiasm and the nascent skills for what people can do with trees. And I think this is where being able to share pictures on places like Instagram has been fantastic, because it's all over the map, it's all over the globe, and it just seems to be really accelerating, which is just, it feels fantastic.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm excited to come back. I'm excited to come back and start working. But that's great to hear.
Yeah, and I keep bumping into more and more people who are growing that I don't know about, whether it's hobbyists or growers out in the middle of who knows where that I hadn't heard about. And so we have a long ways to go, but I know a lot of people are working on this. And so I too want to do whatever I can to kind of support that effort to make sure
Yeah.
that people looking for trees have some fun stuff to work on.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm
And
excited
so
to come back. I
I
wanna
bet.
get my fingers in that. I wanna help out. I wanna contribute.
I'm sure we'll find something for you to do. Well, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we let you go and enjoy what's left of your day off?
There's a lot to cover. I feel like I didn't cover nearly what I should have covered.
Oh, should have. The tyranny
I'm
of the
sorry. I
should.
feel like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like I was so nervous.
You're telling me you can't naturally encapsulate the experience of upending your entire life, saying goodbye to every person, thing, and custom that is natural for you, moving to the other side of the planet and
Yeah.
doing what you're told for, until 11 o'clock at night every day? That's not natural. Come on.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of great avenues to explore with that. I feel like I could have already written 2 books on my experiences. It's really complicated and there's a lot of intricacies, but yeah.
Well, if we
I
can
hope we
cut
can
your,
talk more about some, dig a little deeper into a lot of those different things we were talking about.
we'll give you heads up. We'll get some of the other guys on the podcast to join in, and we'll identify one of those deeper topics ahead of time so we can play with that, because I think that'd be
Yeah.
really fun. In the meantime, we'll just see if we can cut your 5 to 6 hours of sleep down to 2 to 3 hours so you have time, because you'll be so fresh on 2 to 3 hours sleep. I'm sure that third book will be coming out in no time.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure everyone will be very happy to hear all this, and we will be sure that we get you on here again before too long. Thank you so much.
Hey, let me plug my Instagram.
Oh, yes. Where can we find out more about you?
All right. My Instagram is
And we'll be putting links to this in the show notes.
Oh, okay, cool. Adam, ADAM.JP.BON.
And we will point everyone there, and I can vouch to say that you will find some pictures of anything ranging from a detailed shot of a wired branch to a beautiful place in Japan to whatever you happen to be working on at the time.
Yeah, so I think I think there's a lot of Instagram profiles where it's this is the finished work. Oh, this is what it looked like before. But I kind of want to create, I feel like I'm in a really unique situation where I want to create like a whole story, not just this is a tree I worked on. I kind of want to create the whole story. So
a little more context. Well, I look forward to seeing how you can figure that out on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. I hope I can post more. I hope I can have more time to take pictures instead of running around and nonstop working.
It'll come.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Adam, for joining us. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you. This is awesome, man. I appreciate it. This is really cool. I'm honored to be on your podcast. This is cool, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right.
You're a good dude.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, man. See ya.
The music on today's podcast was brought to you by the fine folks at Blue Dot Sessions. Check them out at www.sessions.blue. Also, the advertisements are fake.
That was perfect.
I guess.
The
I'm
only
so
thing.
nervous. See, now it's like I feel like I'm talking. I'm talking to you again. I can compose my thoughts a lot better. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know.